Carmi, we're going to start with this story, the terrible story, of course, over the school shooting in Tumbler Ridge, BC, which has not been forgotten about. In fact, this story got legs again this week when it was, I guess, a letter from the head of OpenAI, basically, and I want to make sure I get this right, acknowledging, first of all, the tragedy, and I guess to some degree, OpenAI's part in not alerting the community to what they already knew. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so Sam Altman sent this letter to the community saying he was deeply sorry that they did not alert law enforcement to the account that they originally banned last June. And then he said, while I know words can never be enough, I believe an apology is necessary to recognize the harm and irreversible loss your community has suffered. Well, the mother of Maya Gabala, who's the 12-year-old girl who was shot and is still fighting for her life, said, Tumbler Ridge sees your apology, and she put apology in quotes, Sam, we do not accept it. And so, OpenAI is a company that is on the verge of an initial public offering. It's preparing to go public later this year. It wants to be seen as moral and ethical, but clearly is not. I'm pretty sure the company's lawyers told Mr. Altman to write that letter. It isn't enough because now 7 of the families who were affected by this tragedy, 5 deaths and 2 injuries, have now sued OpenAI in California court, basically saying the company did not do enough to stop this. They knew, because they had been told by their automated tools, that this individual, the shooter, had been engaging in conversations with ChatGPT, planning to conduct a mass shooting. And the chatbot advised the individual how to go about doing that. The account was suspended. It was disabled. And then when staff tried to advise senior leadership to call the police and say, this is an issue, you need to check this individual out, senior leadership refused to do so. And then when the shooter created another account, it was not flagged and the shooter was able to continue using it. So many things that could have happened. One phone call could have potentially prevented this from happening, yet the company sat on that information and did nothing. And so they are now going to face those accusations in court. And none too soon. It's another example of a technology company behaving in a way that puts victims and communities in unnecessary danger, and in this case led to a tragedy. It's time for that to change. It's time for them to face the music.
It is, by the way, I should mention, I don't know if you just did, it's a $1 billion lawsuit, right?
Yeah, so they're saying it could be billions. So it's 7 separate lawsuits. They're trying it, interestingly, in a San Francisco court. Originally, they had contacted Canadian lawyers, and they started working on it, and then they felt that they wouldn't have the impact. They wouldn't be able to send a strong enough message to a big American tech company if they proceeded through Canadian court. So they said, let's do it in the U.S., where we'll actually send the appropriate message, have the power to take on big tech. And so now this case is now easily the most closely watched case in tech, as it should be, because we're starting to see big tech companies face increasing pushback over the fact that they don't seem to care about the people who use their product.
All right, let's move on from that and talk about this story. Maybe this is one of those should have seen this coming. Humanoid robots who will now have actually started sorting luggage at Tokyo's airport. What's this about?
So this is Japan Airlines is working with some Chinese robotic manufacturers. They're humanoid robots, so they're not like the robots in a factory where they're like an arm on a stand and they do the same thing, sort of repetitive over and over. These are robots. They will actually load planes with baggage. They'll load planes with cargo. They'll walk around the tarmac, around the aircraft. They'll work alongside human baggage handlers as well. They're going to test it for about 2 years to see, can they do it safely? How do they work alongside humans? Are there any issues? How do we update the software? Because it's a really complex situation, really complex use case. And it'll be a really interesting test to see if, should other airports be applying this? Japan has a problem. They have a huge shortage of baggage handlers to work in the aviation industry. So they can't hire people. They're not taking jobs away. They're simply trying to ensure that they have enough kind of horsepower on the ground to handle the job with the people they've got. So definitely interesting to watch. And, other airlines and other airports are going to be watching this. Wouldn't surprise me at some point to see this technology showing up at a Canadian airport as well.
Yeah, interesting. You said this is amid a labor shortage, right? To your point, this is not just saying, hey, we have enough, we're going to try the robots anyway. They're trying this because they have no choice.
Exactly. There are 23,000 or so ground crew members, ground crew in Japan, and a few years ago they had 26,000. So the numbers are going down. They know they need more. They simply can't keep up. So these robots are kind of filling it in. Nobody is losing their job.
All right. From that story, we go on to this one. I was talking about food influencers before, but for people out there who scroll social media, there are so many fitness influencers. Some of them showing off their hardware. You have a story about a fitness tracker. What's this?
So this comes to us from researchers in the UK, and they looked at, so when people have fitness trackers, so it could be a Fitbit, could be an Apple Watch, could be a Garmin watch. Personally, I wear a Garmin watch, and they looked at what they post online as they use their devices, and they found that many of them feel shame because they're logging unhealthy foods into their fitness trackers. Many of them are annoyed by the notifications they get because they're constantly being pinged. Oh, you can still meet your goals if you get off the couch and go for a walk now before the day ends. And that happens on mine all the time. And they're also very upset with themselves. They're disappointed when they're unable to meet their goals, whatever they are, whether it's steps or blood pressure or weight or whatever. So they're saying that it's to the point that they're being demotivated. In other words, they're so despondent at what their fitness trackers are telling them, they're giving up on staying healthy at all in the first place. And so they're saying the industry needs to look at how we measure. In other words, what is a fitness tracker tracking? If it's all about data, and if it's just a numbers game, we're kind of missing the point. They have to be more holistic. They have to, ask if you're enjoying yourself. Are you having a good time while you're working out? Are you enjoying that walk or that bike ride? Let's back away from the data because it's killing us, and frankly, it's not helping us get any more fit. It's just contributing to depression.
Boy, the things you learn, huh? Everybody ran out, buy fitness trackers. I can't go wrong with one of these, and look what we're finding out. All right.
Yeah, more harm than good.
Crazy.
And if anyone wants to buy a Garmin, I'm selling.
Oh, there you go. Good to know. Then there's this. I guess I'm not surprised. CRTC, and they've been talking about this for a long time, right? Making it easier for Canadians to cancel their phone plans, which has up until now been an issue, right?
Yeah, because if you wanted to cancel your phone plan, up until now, you either had to go into the store or get on the phone. And anyone who's called a company, their wireless company on the phone knows you can sit there for hours. And even when you finally do get through to a human, they'll try to upsell you. They'll try to keep you there. And it's just really difficult, which means it's not as easy to go, cross the street, find a better deal. And as a result, the market isn't as competitive as it should. We're probably paying more than we should. So now they've removed the need, or they will be removing the need for you to go into the store. Now you can do it via an app, online, or by email. Now, the rule only takes effect next April. So telecom companies have a year to implement this, but we're already seeing examples of them putting it in place now to make it easier for you to, track that deal. And we're seeing more features on the platforms that make it easier for you to self-serve on your account instead of having to go to a store or call somebody.
All right. And finally, I want to get to this story because I think I read a story this week. Meta is laying off thousands of workers. We heard as well a couple of other tech companies laying off, thousands of employees too. Meta, so that's Facebook, is going to start capturing employee mouse movements. Perfect. Why are they doing this, Carmi? What's their ulterior motive here?
So Meta isn't just a social media company. They are an AI company. And if you've used Meta AI as part of Facebook or Instagram or WhatsApp, you're familiar with it. And so they want to train their AI agents. So the automated tools that do work for us, they want them to learn what it's like to work in an office. And what better way to do that than to peer over the shoulders of tens of thousands of Facebook employees? So it's called the Model Capability Initiative. And basically what it does, anything that you do, if you move your mouse, whatever you're clicking, your keystrokes, that will be used to train these AI models to create better AI agents. And of course, this happens at the same time that they are laying off upwards of 10% of their staff. There will be another wave of layoffs later this year. So the sad irony is they're rolling out technology to train AI agents, and we know full well those AI agents are going to take over for you when you lose your job.
Crazy?
So lose-lose. Yeah, lose-lose situation. And honestly, if you're a Meta employee, I've been seeing on Reddit and in the job boards, lots of people not happy about this. We know that companies do this. We know that if they give you a laptop or give you a phone, that they are probably tracking your activity, but not to this degree. And this kind of puts us in sort of new and let's call it frightening territory.
And making you do this when you realize, I think at some point, as you're saying, you're seeing people post about this, that you're training someone or something to take over your job.
That's exactly it.
It's crazy.
Meta's excuse is, well, it's going to give us good data, and this is the best place to get that data. But that's just an HR sanitized way of saying we're just making it easier for us to get rid of you.
Welcome to the future. Carmi Levy, CTV tech analyst. Carmi, thank you so much.
Canadian women are looking for more out of themselves, their businesses, their elected leaders, and the world around them.
And that's why we're thrilled to introduce the Honest Talk podcast.
I'm Jennifer Stewart.
And I'm Catherine Clark. And in this podcast, we interview Canada's most inspiring women.
Entrepreneurs, artists, athletes, politicians, and newsmakers, all at different stages of their journey.
So if you're looking to connect, then we hope you'll join us.
Listen to the Honest Talk podcast on iHeartRadio or wherever you listen to your podcasts.